Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where you make long and short-term investing simple. I hope everyone had a great weekend, and we're back to kick off this week here. And yesterday we had a pretty bullish day. We moved up 1.35%, and today we are down 0.97. So let's take a look at the heat map real quick. And it's been pretty red over here. I mean, NVIDIA, Google, Microsoft, they stood their ground there. But aside from that, everything else is in the red here. So not looking too great for the bulls in the very short term, but you know what? That's all right. Just because that is exactly what I'm expecting. In my previous videos, it talks about how we are right close to all-time highs. I'm going to call this our official all-time high price target line here at 22,100 on our NASDAQ futures. And if we take a look here, we are 1.72% away from that currently. And aside from that, if we take a look at the highest part that we've gone to, we were just 0.1% away from that all-time high price target there. So we're pretty much out there. So what do I expect here? Well, let's just take a look at this price action here. Huge bull market over here in 2024. We had this drop early in 2025. We're rebounding, and we're rebounding very quick. Now we have a break of the support line here, which shows that we are losing some of the strength for the bulls. And that being said, if we're going to break through the biggest resistance line, which is the all-time high price target line, we need to see that there's a lot more bulls on board, and we're probably going to find a lot more bulls at a lower price target. If this is too high and too expensive to sustain that much growth in the NASDAQ, we definitely need to come back down, pull back a little bit more, and then from there, once we're at a lower price target, I'm looking at somewhere like the bottom of this range over here. That's kept us very strong in 2024, and we didn't break below that for quite a few times. And once we did, that's when we really got this flushed down. But that being said, I do expect, somewhere either to this rising support line over here, or it could be down to this line over here at 20,700, as I mentioned before. So those are two good candidates that I can expect the market to pull back to. And if you are looking for each one of these resistance touches, you are looking for a balance off, and you just want to make sure that you're seeing volume before you place your trade there, so you don't get false, like a false breakout or trapped. But yeah, aside from that, this market's pretty simple to trade, and right now it's mostly just going to be a waiting game, unfortunately. But when we do get that rebound, the breakout, and the retest, that is when you're going in, and we're definitely not ending this bull market anytime soon, and we will be receiving all-time highs. And when we do, that's going to be an absolute rocket for the market. So do keep an eye out for that here. So let's take a quick look here. When would I be getting risk off? If we were to break below this range, that's definitely when I'm getting risk off, or I'm starting to short the market. But aside from here, I definitely do expect to see a break of this line relatively soon. I'm not going to say this week or maybe even next week, but in the next 3 weeks, I'd like to see a break of 22,100, and then that's when we're moving to the higher price targets there. Let's take a look at some of the major sectors that are influencing the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at XLK over here, and this is our technology fund, and this is pretty much, rooted in Apple and NVIDIA, and we can see here that it's pretty much playing out like the NASDAQ here, where we're having this very strong resistance line. And even if you want to call the resistance line from anywhere from 238 to about 242, you can see that there is a lot of volume going on in this level over here. So this is a huge point that the market's anticipating. So it just makes sense that after such a vigorous bull rally here, we're going to probably cool off here. And the cool off is starting here. If we people look at the fear and greed index for the NASDAQ, or sorry, for the S&P 500, we can see that we fell out of greed and we're back into neutral, which is a zone that we skipped over. And I told you that because we skipped over it, we'll probably have to rebalance, and there was really no time that we spent in neutral. So here we are back in neutral. We just came out of greed into neutral. So I expect to pull back a little bit more, meaning the market will probably pull back as well. And then that's a great entry there for your trades. So XLK over here, key resistance over here at 242, anywhere from 241 to 242. Let's take a look at XLC. This is your communications sector, and it's pretty much the same thing. If anything, this is just a bit more of an obvious double top here. And I'm not saying double top in the sense that we're going to be, coming all the way down here, but I'm just saying double top in the sense that this is a very obvious resistance level. So it's going to take the market some time to break above this, and that's when we're going to see the NASDAQ follow and all the stocks follow as well. So that's just very simple there. It's just a waiting game. Right now, if you are going to place a long position, wait till we get a retest of a certain key level or support, or you're waiting for a breakout, but nothing in between, because you can get trapped very easily there if you are a day trader. Take a look at Google over here, and Google is still showing some strength here. Again, this is a key level that we're looking for Google to break, and if we do, we're looking for that blue skies bold breakout all-time high push over here, and I can definitely expect a break over 208, which is our previous all-time high price target for Google. I like to see something like even 220, or I think higher, because right now we are consolidating a lot in the market, and I think that we are going to get a very, very nice big push. So that is what I'm looking out for as well for Google. So a break over 182, and support level over here is rising, and currently if we do break below, let's see here, if we break below 159, that's when you're looking to short the market or take your money in cash. But I think that the bull market is definitely going to continue for Google as well. AMD, yesterday we had a huge day for AMD. We were up about 9% on AMD, 8.81%. And today we did get a bit of a pullback, but that's understood because we had such a massive day. It just makes sense that we have to balance out. And that was a touch off of the support line as well. So if you did catch that, great job. That's a fantastic trade there. And for AMD, a lot of investors and a lot of people are speculating that we're looking for about a $200 price target. If we take a look at the chart here, we can see there's a lot of volume at around this 180 or 170, anywhere from 174 to $180 price range. So I think that if there is going to be a place that a lot of institutions are taking money out of, it's probably going to be there, and they're just using you to stay in for liquidity if you want to keep your position up until we hit that 200. So if you want to receive a realistic and still a very good trade, take profit, take a look for that 174 to that 180 price target there. But AMD is pumping, and we've caught some fantastic trades off of AMD as well, and we are still in one big position here. So definitely once we receive that 170, that's when I'll be cashing out there. Let's take a look at Intel over here. Now Intel, I don't know how much future there is for Intel. Do I expect it to make a new all-time high? Honestly, probably not. I'm not going to lie to you. But do I expect to see it break this trend of, at least this specific trend of this bear market here? Yeah, I think right now we have a pretty obvious bottom here. This very key support level at about $19 a share. And if we do receive a breakout of this resistance level, and we've been touching it quite frequently, and we did have a break above it one day over here, but if we do receive a break over that, that's a pretty good trade contender. Let's say that we get a break over here, keep your stop loss at the swing low. I could be expecting a price target even like, it could be even 27 if you want to keep it conservative, or it could be right at this resistance level over here as well, and that could be a pretty good price target as well. So that's still a 4 risk to reward ratio, and Intel is so cheap right now, and even the CEO of Intel is buying a whole lot of its own share. So I think that could be a good sign that we can see from Intel in the future. Apple, let's take a look at Apple. We have this resistance line that we are just dying to break out of, and right now the Apple chart is a little funky because we're not receiving too much bullish price action from Apple, even though we're receiving it from the rest of the stocks in the Mag 7. But right now, what am I seeing for Apple? Right now, it's a bit of a waiting game for Apple. If you are looking to day trade, I'm looking for a very simple break of resistance here, and this very clear resistance line for Apple for us to break. And right now, there is a lot of space for Apple to play because we have this huge day, and this is I want to say this is a very good contender for market bottom if this is not the bottom already. So there is a possibility that we can still make a higher high in the long-term sequence, even if we come back down to, let's say, $180 a share. So unless we get that breakout down below here, that's when I'm taking all my money out of Apple, because that's definitely not a good sign, and I don't think any of the other NASDAQ stocks will be doing that as well. So that's just a bad sign for Apple as a stock, and not just for the whole market. So take a look for a break to the upside. I want to see a break of resistance and a break and a hold of this $200 level as well, because that's a huge psychological level. So if we can break over that, that would be fantastic, and that's your green flag to go there. But that's going to be a wrap for today's video here. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're currently beating the market by about 159% in our Discord community, and all the trades that I take are public to you and they're made accessible to you if you do join the Discord. That includes my take profits, my stop losses, my hot stock picks for every month, and also includes free one-on-one sessions as well. So if that is something that you're interested in, come take a look in the link in description, because we are crushing the market and we are definitely going to continue to, especially when we get this huge bull market. A lot of plays are going to be made. So if that's something that you're interested in, come take a look at that. But anyways, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow. Later, y'all.